Good morning. So, got a request here from ProCow. You may remember this one from the whole, well, Tempest versus everyone thing from before, and this is something of a redo of that one. So now the Tempest has been remade a little bit. It doesn't have napalm rockets this time. In general, it's been toned down, so hopefully it should be a bit more of a fair thing this time around. For those unaware, napalm rockets are, for lack of a better term, disgustingly broken in Formula Front. So basically nothing stood a chance until a few of them got lucky. So it's going to be same rules as last time. Each of the community ACs and other things that end up fighting the thing get one try. And, well, the Tempest functionally has 2 lives. So if it loses twice, then the community wins. If not, well, then it wins. So now, the one other change that I've just gone and made, as far as the tuning that was given, I've tuned a lot of it. I ended up taking a point or two from the other things to put them towards cooling, since in general the cooling scores are a bit lower in Formula Front, so I tried to balance it out. But anyway, I just moved the tuning around a little bit, and I also gave it the Pixie 2 instead of the Pixie 3, mostly just because the Cerberus was already using it, and I was not about to make a whole other team and remake one of them, because prep time was already kind of at a premium. So at any rate, we'll start off with the Cerberus. It's actually had its booster changed. This is mostly just due to the fact that I accidentally overrode it at one point, then couldn't quite remember what it was that was supposed to go in that spot. And there we go, I forgot to turn on frame skipping. But at any rate, it should function pretty similarly. When I was testing it, it seemed to work about the same. So now the Tempest, just like last time, is just built entirely on overwhelming firepower. Swapping weapons around, tends to fire from the air a lot, and alright, well, that tended to be pretty quick, but it was close range with a lot of heavy weapons flying towards a relatively lightweight build. Okay, so, seeing as I don't remember where a lot of things are, we're just gonna swap between random ACs, community ACs, whatever. So this is another one that was supposed to fight it, Dark Weapon. It's another one of ProCow's things. That was supposed to be his, as I understand, his community AC, more or less. Because he liked using a bazooka and blade build, which I absolutely understand. That is some pretty decent coverage. So we'll see how this plays out. Personally, I think the Tempest will still get it. It's pretty much got it on every front, really. It's got a lot more offense, it's got a lot more defense, speed is pretty comparable. The Dark Weapon is relatively quick. I made it pretty dodgy. Both of these are set up to be able to dodge missiles, and that was a pretty sweet blade hit right there. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's getting pretty close here. And yeah, the Tempest still ended up winning it. The Bazooka did a pretty good job here. That one is pretty strong in Formula Front. In general, the bazookas are pretty friggin' strong, but that one in particular is just kind of beastly. Alright, now, just kind of for the hell of it, I'm going to test it against the Baby's Breath. And actually, I made another version of the Baby's Breath called the 9 Beef that I want to test out as well. It's one that I was working on for a little bit here and there. Finally came up with a version of it that I'm pretty happy about. So yeah, the Baby's Breath is the sort of lightweight 9-ball remake that decided to fight in an aircraft hangar. Right, this is going to go fantastically for you. The only real difference is that obviously it has the rockets instead of a grenade launcher. Which is fine, you know, it is how it is. Alright, 9-ball. Do it. Sort of believe in you a little bit. It's actually funny because it's a pretty good build overall. It just always seems more fragile than it should be. He's gotten 2000 AP off him, and it's not going to be enough. Okay. I mean, comparatively, he had a pretty good exchange there. and won't be able to make much use of those missiles. It's pretty well certain in here. Needs to get using his rifle a little bit. Actually, the Tempest, with the changes that have been made, it's a little bit more prone to overheating now, but I still wouldn't call it easy to overheat. It's still going to take quite a bit of firepower to pull that off. Yeah, no, there we go. That's it. That's a finisher right there. Okay. Now let's break out another community AC. Who do I remember being where? Alright, 6. I know that had at least one of them. Yeah, there we go. There's the Jester. So I believe this is the at least partially remade Jester. So yeah, that's Akami's thing here. So basically what had come about, the original version of this thing was kind of having issues in terms of missiles and, well, having extra stuff to hit. So anyway, the extensions went on it. I got some decoys. I believe this is the version that uses decoys. We'll see. They did a pretty good job as kind of an anti-sniper thing. It's pretty decently tanky, and the missiles do a lot, but it needed a little bit more oomph to stand up to some of them that ended up coming up. Alright, it's doing an okay job, but it's not going to survive very long taking all those hits up close. Yep, there we go. I think that's actually the no, so far the dark weapon's been the closest. That was pretty close, though. Alright, what's next? Well, I guess next let's test out 9 Beef. So this is my kind of alternate version of 9 Ball that I made. Pretty much to represent the whole pulse rifle thing. It's got the mini Sawa, it's got the EO core. To represent the grenade launcher, it's got the 9 micro missiles, and then it's got its warhead launcher and blade, because for the hell of it. And I switched the eyes to green instead of blue, just to kind of, I don't know, give it a little bit of a different look. There we go, it's a 9 Beef. He's just supposed to be a tankier 9 Ball. Supposed to be pretty well aggressive. Tends to have enough defense to stand up to most things. Probably won't in this case, and he's set up to be pretty dodgy for missiles. Hasn't done fantastically on those so far. You know, maybe that remains to be seen. Yeah, no, he didn't hold up so hot. So much for that. Okay, who's next? Alright, there's somewhere in here. There's kind of a lot of them. Well, I know mine's on 10, so that's the Caffeinator. And then plus the original Tempest. I'll probably end it with the fight between the 2 Tempests, just to kind of see how big of a difference those napalm rockets make. Actually, you know, it probably shouldn't even be that sharp of a difference in this case. It is, I mean, it would take extra fire on top of napalm rockets to overheat it. So, the Caffeinator is just, like, high defense DPS build. Rockets, missiles, a machine gun, and a blade on it. Pretty much just set up to, well, outlast the other guy more than anything else. Set up to be pretty evasive and has decoys. It should be able to avoid most of the missiles there. I mean, given how it's going so far, if it uses its rockets right, it actually has a chance. And yeah, the colors were the standard kind of New Mexico desert colors. The turquoise and brown and kind of beige-ish. I like New Mexico. It's nice out there. Well, it's out of its extensions. My Caffeinator. Yeah, if it gets into close range, that EO plus the machine gun can really tear a lot of things apart. Apparently got a weird stutter thing going on today because I ended up biting my tongue earlier. Like one of those things where you sleep weird, you bite your tongue, and you feel like an idiot all day because you're talking weird. Okay. It's down to small missiles and EOs now. Yeah, I'm hoping we don't have to end up relying on a tank to do it, because that's kind of what happened last time. It was the murder.exe that finally finished it off, and then the tits and wine, which ended up killing it one of the times, I believe. Come on, use those rockets. Be able to just tank out the Pixie 2 now. DPS. Well, at the very least, it's the current closest. So there's that. But 2107 is the lowest it's got. I think with a little bit of luck, it actually could have won, but oh well. Now, who else was here? I think Team 5 had one of them, if I'm not mistaken. No, apparently, well, I mean, we can put the Grasshopper, I suppose. The Grasshopper is another one of Cow's ACs. They're all based on animals and nature and such sort of thingies. And yeah, some interesting builds coming out of that collective, as I like to call it. So the Grasshopper's a hit-and-run kind of railgun and spread bazooka build. The spread bazookas can like 1-2 shot a lot of things. So, wow, like right there, it was enough to actually put it into overheat. That's going to disable Selena's for a while, especially if he goes into charging, which he has. Okay. Grasshopper might be the first winner. If he doesn't get completely wrecked here, that is. Come on, Grasshopper. Come on. Oh. Dang it. Well, it did alright, but still not even the closest. Who's next? Let's see. I think I'm gonna do like community, then random, then community, then random. I think Tomato had one of them. Did it? Yeah, the Obscuro. So this is Havens, and this is the upgraded version with decoys and side shields. Which there was like a rivalry between Haven and Okami kind of a thing going on. It was just slapping on extra parts. And then to kind of skip the inevitable rematch that had happened, I just went and slapped stuff on the Jester. But this combination on the Obscuro was pretty intense, and it really wasn't able to out-DPS it in the end, mostly because we kept getting blade hits. Actually, this one's the current reigning thing for dodging missiles for some reason. I've set others up with a similar AI pattern and all that, but... Yes! That's hilarious. So, the Obscuro won a fight by Goomba stomping the Tempest out of the map. Okay, that's... I don't know if that'll even count, but whatever, we'll count it as a technical win. I don't know what it is. It's for some reason in the hangar map, in the very center there's like a spot where you can just get stomped out. Bizarre. Alright, let's test it against the PK. So this is Werehound's AC from AC2. Kind of the closest simile I was able to make to it. I did actually end up going back and testing a build using using the 100-shot pistols, the 110-shot pistols, I should say. But this was just kind of closer to how scary he actually is. Now, I'm assuming this bazooka will just tear him a new one, but we can see. Come on, you're gonna have to do better than that. Get close. Get close, you fool. Right. So, how about that fighting back there, Werehound? Can we do some of that? Okay, so he managed to take off a grand total of 500 AP off him. Awesome. Probably could have gotten that just going through the car wash. Okay, what else do we have? Something else has to beat this thing. No, you know who needs to be here? Friggin', Dr. Siegel. Where is he? He's right over here. So this will be, Haven, or not Haven, this will be a Royal Angels entry then, I suppose. Truth be told, I ended up overwriting a couple of them because I didn't see them going a second time. I think I still have, the one that looks a lot like Shatter. I think I still have that somewhere. But we'll see. And so far, the Tempest needs to take another loss to actually lose here, so... Oh, crap. Alright, well... the King of the Lightweights is currently getting a little bit stomped by the Heavyweight. Got some good damage in, but... he didn't exactly survive too hot. Okay. So, what's next? Storms? Was it in here? Oh, there's the Zuki. There's another community build for you. So this is another one of cows. Actually, this might stand a chance. Right, so this is a perma-hover build. I try to get him to use it to some varying degree of success. It's really inconsistent. Really what it is, he has to kind of get nearby, has to be above them, and then will proceed to hover. Usually. Sometimes he just flat out won't, and we'll keep doing this. I've tried giving him operation ships to be different, I've tried all kinds of different things, but it's just one of those things where the AI is so friggin' wonky that you never know what you're gonna get. Alright, so nobody's outspeeding that Selena core. Try to get around a corner, and it's just gonna snapshot him out of the sky. Alright. There we go. There's another one of Royal's ACs, so the Dean Knight. Let's see what it does. Okay, never mind. It's lost most of its offense in here as if it was enough already. So he uses verticals, if I recall correctly. Let's see if I'm completely wrong on that. Oh, I am completely wrong on that. Okay, never mind. No, its missiles are just fine for this location. So it's like it's a high mobility general purpose build. Actually reasonably durable. Pretty cool to see it get a win here. Come on, do a slash. Come down a little bit. Apparently he's decided slashing is for nerds and he's going to stand on the ground instead. There are moments where you kind of see the AI panic. Like where it starts getting hit by so much stuff that it just starts triggering things left and right and it's trying to process what it should do in that situation. That seemed to be one of those cases. Alright, what do we have in the consortium? Let's see how Rimfire does. Now, who else is there, when I think about it? I mean, there was that one guy that requested Fragile, so I guess we could use him, but he'll just die within seconds. Oh, Azores. Yeah, I have to go use some of Azores ACs, especially Messy Finish. Actually, you know what? I might just slap them all into one video. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Or maybe I won't. Yeah, well, he wanted it separate, so we'll do it separate. In case you're wondering, Azor's request was before I go and get rid of a lot of the community ACs, if that's what I end up doing. He wanted to see one of his builds, the Messy Finish, fight all of them. Alright, so let's go pick up the Messy Finish. Yeah, there we go, and Meme Dream. Messy Finish! This thing's crazy looking. Oh man, I need to have this thing fight Dr. Well, actually, okay, it will as part of the community AC thing. I need to have that thing fight Dr. Siegel. They have such a similar crazy color scheme. And I know it's probably supposed to be like Dr. Seagull or something. But I always want to call it the Seagull. Okay, okay. He's doing it. He's doing it. Come on, Messi, finish. Do it. Yes. He's actually beating him. Alright, there we go. That, by the way, that last shot, yeah, we're gonna look at the replay because I just want to show it real quick. That was a perfect example right there of like the crazy overheat mechanics in Formula Front. Part of the reason why napalm rockets are such a friggin' broken thing. Right, so I'll switch to this. And just keep an eye on his AP there. Okay, so it's hit for like 500 overheated. Starts draining like 100 AP every couple seconds here. Okay, that's fine. Now, right there, notice how that was some unreasonably high damage for what was going on there. As I understand, and I could be completely wrong on this, it seems like any heat damage that goes past a certain threshold just gets changed into flat damage. So where he was doing 500 to start off, once he was overheated, he started doing like 1500 per shot. And you can see that a lot of times with pretty severely heavy missile builds and whatnot, like where they'll end up going and getting just bringing shot for 3,000 with something that would have done maybe 700 or 800 normally. So it gets pretty crazy. Now, there is one more that has to be done. Actually, there's two more. One is the old grudge match against Murder.exe, which killed it off last time, so this time Messy Finish gets the Messy Finish. Actually, it'll end up getting its rematch in the Messy Finish cleanup. But let's see if it can survive against the Murder.exe. Submitted this to TVM's latest thing. I'm curious to see how it'll do. This is one of my favorite builds. Just because it's so ridiculous. Like, the entire thing is built entirely for Last Raid, and it just kind of happens to work out pretty well here. I mean, not on this map, but in general. They always like to do this ring around the rosy crap. It's actually funny because back when I was making really sucky versions of the AI, like, they're still not very good, but back when I was making much worse versions and giving them all situational awareness, they have a tendency to actually avoid doing this. But at this point, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, this entire build is just made, like I said, for Last Raven. It's got triple missiles. It's got its inside mines, EOs, and this is a slightly modified version for Formula Front. But I had warhead missiles on the other one. On one version, I had warhead missiles and the Echidna 2s, the pursuit missiles. And the idea was, it rounds a corner, pops out an Echidna, and starts firing all of those. So the pursuit missiles end up going after the guy. Okay. Oh, alright. It actually ended up winning against this version. Let's see how it does against the old version. I think I still had that around in here somewhere. Potato? Did I erase all the potatoes? I very well might have erased all the potatoes, actually. Yeah, I think I might have. Oh well. Oh well. It is what it is. Oh, there's the catastrophe. Well, no. No. That's already been done. But yeah, so it'd pop out its echidnas, essentially use those as a distraction. This is the original Tempest, by the way. Let's just compare. So it'd use those as a distraction, go in with the multi-missiles, or the not pod missiles, but the micro-missiles. Essentially use those to go and like break the other guy's legs, throw some mines out there for the same reason, and then just like finish off with quad nukes. And its entire thing was just ripping off limbs. So it would break the legs, usually blow off an arm with the first volley if it didn't just outright kill it. And then by the second one, you know, they usually were only hanging on to one limb at that point. Okay, so now who are we looking at? So this is original Tempest, over on the bottom right. this one, the new one's AI might be a little bit better, by the way. Could be why he's winning here. So the napalm rockets won't factor in much, just because of how much it takes to actually overheat this thing. But yeah, looks like new Tempest actually can beat the old one. So there you go. And yeah, so that's, I mean, it had 2 losses. Lost one to the Obscuro, ended up getting Goomba stomped off the map. We'll count that as fair. And then the other one was to the messy finish, so Azor's AC. So, yeah, there you go.